What is neuroplasticity and what does that mean in raising great kids?
Children are great by their very nature, and we have the privilege and responsibility of raising them. It can be challenging at times. Let's talk about it.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Armstrong. I'm a general and special education teacher. I homeschooled my own children for 5 years, and I talk about those things that I've studied, I've researched academically and alternatively, and has found what works for me, my children, and my students. Today, I want to talk about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is something that has come to the surface in recent years, and that would be like 6, 7 years ago. That became more of a thing. When I was growing up, it was always in your 20s, you stop developing neurons if you damage yourself through drugs, through concussion, through other things, and that's just what you get to live with. You'll have to learn to deal or cope with those things. Uh, and it's crazy to think about now with the new research, but that's really what was thought. And uh, if you consider what that means for uh, how people we'll label that one, how psychologists and things uh, decided to create treatments and to create diagnoses and things that came about when our brain was solidified. They didn't understand neuroplasticity. They didn't think that was a thing yet, that our neurons can disconnect and reconnect in a different way. So, if they were thinking our brain is pretty solid, like not solid as in solid, but solid as in once you've made a connection, that's there forever. And if you damage your brain somewhere, then good luck. Cope with it as best you can. We'll find some workarounds. Uh, and they really brought that to their treatments in that time. And so it's continuing forward. People are beginning to change, beginning to find new ways, but it takes so long that they'll go, "Oh, you're depressed. You are depressed." Not you're experiencing depression or part of you is depressed. It's you are depressed. That's the way your brain is. That's how you're experiencing it. Let's find ways to cope. Oh, you have OCD. Let's find some ways to cope. I used to be someone who would participate in self harm. And what did they tell me? Oh, well, let's just find something that's less harmful. Wear a rubber band on your wrist, and if you feel like harming yourself, just snap the rubber band. That will make your life so much better. Yeah, not. So, uh, that's like the exciting things is that the new research, new isn't like it happened yesterday, but it takes a while to kind of filter down that our brain has neuroplasticity. It can disconnect and reconnect. And it's the understanding how our brain works that allows us to do that on purpose. uh, so I've been able to rewire my brain so that self harm just doesn't make sense. It's not something that's just always with me and I have to cope with and I can manage. That's not how it is. It no longer makes any sense to my brain. And so when you consider what does this mean for our children, then when we understand how our brain works and we can do these things with ourselves, when we can understand our own brain and we can train our own brain, how much more likely are we to be able to help our children to learn that? when they're experiencing fear, when they're experiencing anxiety, when they're experiencing social relationship struggles, when they hit third to sixth grade. Uh, this is something that can really, really benefit them. So feel free to visit my website, raisinggreatkids.net, or you can just reach out and comment or talk to me. And I'd be happy to talk to you about programs that I have in place that will help you learn how to disconnect and reconnect in a way that you do it yourself and that it works in any situation. For many of even the alternative treatments that understand about neuroplasticity, they teach you how to do it in this situation or how to do it with your past. Uh, so if you can do it in the past, if you can, like EMDR, ART, they'll fix things that the rapid eye kind of things that they do. That really works for things that have happened in the past. It actually works for a certain percentage, and then there's a small percentage, depends on what you consider small, like 20 to 30%, that it can actually make it worse. Yikes, with those treatments. But that's all it does is work on something that has happened. But what if you can take what has happened, you can disconnect and reconnect so that even if something like that happens in the future, you're not traumatized again. Like being traumatized over uh, even some things that society says, oh my goodness, that's so traumatic. Uh, what if you didn't experience it as trauma? Not that the experience doesn't happen, but that you don't experience it as trauma. Working on things in the past, but also in the future. So like if it happens again or something happens in the future, that you won't be traumatized. It's an amazing thing. So reach out, connect with me, and I look forward to hearing your experiences and meeting with you. Remember, children are great by their very natures, and we have that privilege and that responsibility to raise them.
Hi friends, Cynthia Armstrong here. Thanks for joining us today. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can see when new videos come out and like this one. It is such a responsibility and a challenge to raise great kids, and we are here to help you along that journey to make it as enjoyable and fun and fulfilling as possible. Please check out our website, www.raisinggreatkids.net, and I will leave that in the description below.